Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your friend Bats. My name is Jared, and today is July 1st. That's right, 2 videos in one day. If you have Amazon tickets, if you have your Amazon Prime special screening, whatever it's called, we are literally 1 week away from Superman. And I cannot even express how hyped I am. So effing hyped. I can't believe we're finally it's almost here. It's almost here. We're almost there. I've been counting the days forever. I'm like, in 1 year from now, I'm going to see Superman. And then that number got a little smaller thanks to Amazon Prime. So thank you, Jeff Bezos, on that one. And I've noticed here online and YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, I don't really use the other ones. So just those ones that I've seen a lot of like the Snyder Bros, the Henry Cavill fans just ramping up their hatred for something that hasn't even come out yet. Which, I'm not trying to crap on them. I get it. Henry was screwed. If you really like those movies, you felt screwed. You felt like there was a sense of hope and you were going to get what you wanted. You got it. And then you wanted more. And you didn't get it. You got something else that you didn't want. And I get it. But there is a lot of people. So yesterday, my fiance and I went and did some shopping, and got a few things like Lysol and some flip-flops for me, and I needed socks and just miscellaneous crap that I can't get at the grocery store. And so I was wearing my David Corenswet Superman shirt, and there was an older lady. She was African American, and she was our cashier, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for that movie," and points directly at my shirt. And I'm like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Oh, I am so excited. You don't even know. I've been watching all the Christopher Reeve movies. I've been watching Lois and Clark. I've been watching all the shows. I've been watching the cartoons I've never seen. I am pumped." And I was like, "Me too." I also have recently watched the Christopher Reeve films. I've been watching Lois and Clark. I've been watching Superman the Animated Series with my fiance. And I was like, "So it's not," and I was like, "You read comics?" She's like, "I don't read comics. No, I just like the movies and cartoons and stuff." I'm like, "Awesome." And she's, all things considered, being a Walmart cashier, she seems pretty normal. She just saw a Superman shirt, got excited that someone else was excited, and needed to tell him. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's positive. The internet doesn't even come close to the conversation that I just had with my Walmart cashier who was ringing up my socks. That was fantastic. And while I was having my heart surgery, one of my nurses came to check my dressings, and as she was doing so, I was like, "Oh, I can't wait for this movie." And she looked up at the TV, and she's like, I don't know if it looks that good. I like the old guy." I'm like, "Henry Cavill?" She's like, "Yeah, he was handsome." I'm like, "You don't think this guy's not handsome?" She's like, "I haven't really seen him." I'm like, "You should look him up. He's a pretty handsome guy." He's playing Superman. Like, if Henry Cavill played Superman and he's handsome, the other guy playing Superman should be. And she's like, "Yeah, that makes sense." And she's like, you don't get it doesn't bother you that they changed the actor?" I'm like, "Not at all." She's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, and I showed her my arm. I was like, I have Adam West tattooed on my arm. So I was like, this is my first Batman. And then I got Michael Keaton, then I got Val Kilmer, and then I got George Clooney, and then I got Christian Bale, and then I got Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson. I went all through the Batmans. I was like, I've seen tons of different cartoons, and I read comics. And so, no, it doesn't really bother me. Like, it's just the new guy to play Superman. Just like I grew up watching James Bond films. It's how many guys have played James Bond? And she goes, yeah, that's fair. And I was like, do you have a dog? She's like, I have a dog. I'm like, you know, Superman has a dog, right? She's like, what? I was like, yeah. She's like, I was like, you have not seen the commercials for this? She's like, no, I just seen a couple of pictures and stuff. I'm like, oh, you should watch the commercials. You like dogs? She's like, love dogs. And I was like, yeah, you should watch the commercials. You might. And she's like, are you really into Superman? I was like, see that black box right there? She's like, yeah. I was like, can you hand it to me? And it's a Storefolio. If you don't know what a Storefolio is, it's a comic book box that you could put in your backpack so you can carry around some comics. And so she hands me my Storefolio, and I pop it open, and I slide out Superman trade. And I was like, I read Superman comics all the time, and yeah, I am super excited for this movie. And I get that you like the old guy, but I can tell you from a comic book reader, from a Superman fan, the Man of Steel movie, did you like Man of Steel? She's like, not really. It was okay. I'm like, she's like, did you like Batman versus Superman? She's like, I like the Batman parts. I'm like, so why if you didn't like Man of Steel and you didn't really like Batman versus Superman, why do you care? She's like, you know, I don't really think I have an opinion of that. My brother was the one who told me that, and yeah, I was just agreeing with him. I'm like, yeah, so if you didn't really like those movies, why do you care? She's like, yeah, I don't think I do. I was like, in those movies, they were kind of boring. Like, he just complains about being Superman. Superman likes being Superman. Superman likes helping people and saving people. And he's colorful and bright, and he's nice, and he's kind. And in those movies, you know, he kind of wasn't any of those things. And she's like, yeah. I was like, but, you know, he's a super nice guy, and that's who he is. And so the more her and I just talked about Superman, and she kind of like told me what she thought of the character and like what I told her about the character, she got all hyped. She's like, you know what? You got me actually excited for this movie. I'm going to go watch the trailer. I'm like, all right, see you later. And that's just kind of seems to be the norm that I'm with my interactions with people in, you know, the hospital, the Walmart. I wear a Superman. I've been wearing a Superman shirt every day since, I don't know, for 3 weeks now straight. Just, I can't wait. I'm so hyped. And people on the dog walks, when I'm walking my dog, have talked about it. And it's just been so much hype. Everywhere I turn, I see some normie talking about Superman. And if they haven't talked about it, I talk about it, and then they get them talking about it, and they can get them, they're like, oh yeah, that looks cool. I'm excited. New Superman movie. You know, he is American as it gets. And America needs to remember what it is to be American again. And I really think that's coming. When I talk about the hype, I really, really think, I mean, I may be wrong a week from now, but right now, I believe that this up and coming Superman movie is going to be game changing. I think it's going to be a generational moment in pop culture and as superhero films specifically, in the same sense that when we look at the superhero films, like there's like essentially like a Mount Rushmore of superhero actors. You have Christopher Reeve, you have Michael Keaton, Tobey Maguire, and Robert Downey Jr. And I know people will say Christian Bale. No, because I remember specifically people being like, we're still talking about Michael Keaton when Batman Begins and Dark Knight. And they were still, I remember people still saying then, Yeah, but yeah, I liked Michael Keaton more. This movie's good. I like this movie, but I like Michael Keaton more. But I have a feeling, in the same sense that Spider-Man was generational in like a cultural shift in film and in movies, where like people go and rewatch Spider-Man, and they all, like, pretty much most people think the Tobey Maguire movies are hands down the best. And I have a feeling that when we see this David Corenswet Superman, most people are going to forget all about Henry Cavill. Most people already forgot about Tyler Hoechlin, and he was fantastic, but that's because it was a TV show, and a lot of people didn't watch that show. If you haven't watched it, watch it. But when I say it's going to be generational, I like, the movie that America needed in 2002 was about a underdog saving his city. That happened to be New York. And in this very polarizing political spectrum of today, where James Gunn has been saying that this movie is about a guy who still believes in kindness in a very cynical world. We're in a very cynical world. We're in a very polarizing world right now. Even so much we're arguing about Superman movies. So what I think is going to happen is this movie's going to inspire a lot of people. They're going to be like, man, that he was a hero. He was a hero. Like, there's no, we've seen clips of him saving dogs. If you remember the behind the scenes photos, there was a picture of him saving a squirrel, right? Because all life matters to Superman. And I feel like there's going to be, once this movie catches on with normies, like it already is catching on with normies, like the cashier, she's really just like put a lot of faith in me with when I heard this lady I wouldn't, don't even know, never talked to before, just kind of says like, I'm so excited for that movie, and points directly to my shirt. It's going to be generational when this movie like takes form in the normies and the word of mouth. Like, people are going to go, like, it's one of those movies where they're like, you have to see this movie. You have to see this movie. And because it's Superman, because it's fun and it's silly and there's a giant monster in it, like, people are going to take their kids, and their kids are going to grow up and see this movie. They're going to become like 20-year-olds in 10 years, and they're going to be like, Superman's my favorite. It's the same thing, like the kids who were like 10 years old in 2008, those kids grew up with the MCU for now they're in their 20s. And so when I say this is going to be generational, it's going to be generational, that like a lot of kids are going to see this movie, and it's going to really change the cultural spectrum of superhero storytelling, and as well as like the inspiration that it's going to bring. The same way that the Spider-Man, people felt really warm and inspired after the Spider-Man movie. I remember I was there. I saw all those movies in theaters. People were so juiced for Spider-Man 2 because Spider-Man 1 was so good. I remember a lot of people in 2002 and 2001 being like, I don't know about this new Spider-Man movie. I don't think it's going to work. And then it was so good that when Spider-Man 2 was coming out, people were super pumped. They were just excited as all hell. And we're still talking about Spider-Man 2. So I think that's what's going to happen here with the James Gunn Superman movie. I feel like this is going to explode. And I'm probably going to explode in the movie theater a week from now. So can't wait to see it. I can't wait for you guys to see it. I can't wait for just everyone to see it in like this moment of like people coming together and like being like Superman was good. It was like America needs that. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.